All right, this entire lesson is all about the comparison of percents and decimals and the comparison of the two. Okay, so before we get into the lesson, the biggest part that we need to look at is my favorite rule. Okay, my favorite rule for a good reason. Decimals begin with which letter? D. Okay, percents begin with what letter? P. So if you know your alphabet, you'll know which direction you need to move. Okay? So if you're going from D to P, we have to move this decimal point in order to actually make the number in the same exact number. So the way I remember this is something I call the butt rule. Okay?
Yeah.
The butt rule, saying, yeah, the butt rule, how many butt cheeks do you have? Two. So you will not move the decimal more than two. You only have two. We want to make sure we keep that way. All right. So going from there, when I move from a decimal, our ABCs are left to right, right? All right. When we list them out, they go left to right, A through Z. Going from D to P, I move it over 2 times. Okay. So going from a decimal to percent to the right. If I go from percent to decimal, I'm going to go to the left. You're going to see why in a few minutes as we go through some of the examples. All right. So understand we're going to move how many decimal places every time we're converting to two? 2. Okay. So look at the first example right here. Write 52% as a decimal. Well, to be honest, sometimes at the beginning when you're learning about this, I go ahead and put DP at the top just to help as a reminder. Well, if I have the percent 52% and I need to convert it to a decimal, I know only going from percent to decimal. So you move 52%, which the decimal is right here, move it left 2. So 52% is the same as 0.52. Okay? When I write 7% as a decimal, same movement. Where is the decimal at right now? Well, it's a whole number, so it's right here after the 7. Move it twice. This is the part where people make the biggest mistake, is they only move it 1 time. But we know we have how many? 2 there. So we end up pointing, yeah, it's called a butt rule for a reason. So the decimal is 0.07. There's a big difference between 0.07 and 0.7. All right. Another one to look at. Okay. What if you go the opposite direction?
47%.
Okay. So again, D to P. So if I have the decimal, all of these A, B, C, and D are all decimals. Okay.
Yep.
Converting to a percent means moving into the right 2 spaces. So this one, 2 spaces, 47%. Okay.
66.3%.
Very good.
I don't know that 1%.
18.
Okay. This one right here.
18.19.
Again, 2 spots, so it's 100 and.
80%?
Can you have more than 100%?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
for sure.
next one's
Yeah, that's
9.9%.
Very good. 0.9% for that one.
I'm a
Okay.
special.
So, hopefully you've seen the pattern. Here are some problems that I want you to try. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. As you go through, pause it right now, and then once you think you got it, hit play again, and then you will be able to check your answers. So go ahead and pause it. Here's the answers. Okay? Okay. Here is 4 more. Go ahead and pause it. Here's your answers.
Yeah! Good job, classmate!
All right. All right. How we might see this in word problems or how it's applied. On a math test, you get 92 out of 100. Have you guys noticed in class that many times I don't put your percent on your test? I never put it on.
You have to divide.
Because I always want you to know how to convert it. Okay? So if you get 92 out of 100, which of the following is not another way of expressing 92 out of 100? Well,
92%.
23 out of 25, is that going to be 92 out of 100? 92%, 17 out of 20. What do we need to do in order to compare these and know if they're actually the 92 out of 100? Well, we need to put them on the same format. Okay? Well, if it's out of 100, 92 out of 100, that is our fraction, 92 out of 100. Well, if we have a fraction right here, 23 over 25, okay, we need to convert it to the same format, which means same denominator. So that's going to get you out of 100 there. So multiply the bottom by 4, multiply the top by 4, that's 92. So far A is good. 92%, is that 92 out of 100? Well, a percent is out of 100, right? If you get 100, aren't you happy?
No.
Normally that's normally the
Except if you're married.
highs, okay? Letter C, 17 out of 20. Well, if you get a common denominator of 100, multiply by 5, multiply that by 5. What is 17 times 5?
Something.
108.
85 out of 100. Uh-oh. Is that your 92?
Oopsie.
No. And 0.92 is actually 92%. So that confirmed that D, B, and A are all the same. Okay? So the one that does not belong is letter
C.
C. Okay? Last but not least in this section. Okay? This example is kind of a little bit of science lesson on UV rays. The figure shows the portions of ultraviolet rays reflected by 4 different types of surfaces. How many times more UV rays are reflected by water than by sea foam? Well, look at your two characters. Sea foam's at 25%, and then looking at the water is 21 out of 25. Well, how do you convert that to a percent? Well, before I said get it out of 100. Okay, and that's easier to get your percent. Multiply by 4, multiply the top by 4, you have 84. Well, the question will ask how many times more. Well, if you know that your sea foam is at 25%, okay, and you're trying to go to what's now 84%, okay, what number times 25 will give you 84%? So you have actually an equation you're setting up. Okay. I would recommend you can keep it as a percent, or you can change them both to decimals, but they both have to be the same. So what you might want to consider doing is doing 0.25x times what number will give you 84%. You want to keep that the same form, 0.84, and solve it by dividing both sides by 0.25. And you'll get your answer. So what is 0.84 divided by 0.25? Any takers?
It's calculator time, boys.
What? I was.
Okay.
Alright, totally was paying attention, but also.
Yeah, you do.
The answer is
3.36.
I said that first.
okay. So how many times more UV rays are reflected by the water? 3.36 times more rays, which makes sense. That makes more sense there. All right. Any questions on this?
No.
No.
All right. Last one. Here's the summative. If you understand all of it, get all of these 5 questions right. Go ahead and pause it if you need to. If you want to do it yourself, and then hit play to check your answers.
Pause. Play.
We write down the answers.
Yeah, I got it all right. Yeah, Coach Everhart, you're the best teacher ever.